What is going on, everybody? Welcome to PoStudios. My name is Jared. Today we're going to do a full time lapse from start to finish, from sketching to coloring to background. The latter portion is actually available on my Twitch at full speed with commentary as well. Also, you can hit mute if you don't want to listen to that, so that's perfectly fine with me. So pop on over there. It is actually in the description down below. Also, I threw up some little movie references while I'm going around, just because when I'm watching it afterwards, that's what's popping up in my head anyways, man. So I figured I'd throw it in there, make it a little bit more entertaining for you guys. So if you guys want to, throw some comments down below letting me know that you know the quotes that I'm going with. And then there is also an interesting one at the end, but I'll get into that later. So today we're going to do a guest character, actually, on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's been in 3 different of the series, including the newest one, which is pretty cool. He is a Samarai Rabbit. His name is Miyamoto Usagi from the, I believe it's a manga, called USAGI Yojimbo. But I'll get into that a little bit later. And let's get started, guys. I hope you enjoy everything. And there will be an intermission in the middle, just with some fun things, break up the monotony. And then we will reveal the final at the end. Enjoy. Alright, we're just going to get started. Just doing a loose sketch here. My first take on him was kind of basic, more character design-y. Generally, when I do a character for the first time, I'm basically just doing a simple standing pose, trying to get all the details right, get kind of used to the costume, you know? This time I wanted to be a little bit more ambitious. I wouldn't call it being over-ambitious, but sorry, some of the pop-ups are a little bit fast. I had to recycle this from the previous YouTube video. Did not seem to keep track of the original file. But trust me, Liquify tool, it saves lives, or at least saves time. At least for those of you that don't know who Usagi Yojimbo is, or the comic is called, or the manga, I believe, is called Usagi Yojimbo. His name is Miyamoto Usagi. He was created by an artist named Sakai, and majority of people know him from his guest appearances on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles multiple times. I believe in the 90s cartoon show he appeared. I know this because I was using the figure for reference. He also popped up in the 2003 series, I believe, and the new 2012 series, which they just finished the episodes not too long ago, if I recall correctly. I think the only one that he didn't pop up in was, like, the movie. Oh, maybe. And Next Mutation. I don't think he was in Next Mutation either. Alright, this time basically I'm going for the original color scheme that's on the figure. Although I didn't really like his kind of bunch up sweatpants that he has on his figure, so I kind of changed it around. But I was trying to keep the original color scheme, and then it just... and all that white. Pasty white. There we go. More like an eggshell, kind of off-white. Good enough for your walls, good enough for a rabbit. And here's where I go back in and start changing the color scheme. I wanted to keep the original design, but just make it a little bit more, I don't even know, feng shui, I guess. Probably not, I don't know. Here I'm using a gradient map. Or basically, I'm using a quick mask as a depth map for the most part. It's a fairly simple way to just worry about painting value over color. So basically, all you're using is whites and blacks and different levels. You're just not. That's not what you're directly looking at. You're looking at the color outcome of it. kind of why it comes off looking all silky, which worked. I thought, you know, maybe he'd be a little bit more fashion conscientious, I guess. I don't know, if I was killing people in a big robe, I'd probably want it to flow pretty nicely and not get in the way. Yeah, to add those little buck teeth in there. Didn't want to make it too comical, though. Trying to go a little bit serious with this pose. Alright, I believe from here on, all of this is available on my Twitch as well. Link will be below. Yeah, link will be below in the description. I got over 65 hours of content on there. It actually isn't sped up like this. You can watch it in real time. Also, don't be shy. You can always ask me questions on here or honestly on any of my social media accounts. Any interest in future videos, drop me a line, shoot me a comment. Even if you just have suggestions, I'd like to hear from you either way. I was trying to keep this color scheme, or the color palette of this piece as... I'd say it's similar. I was trying to keep it in the similar kind of color palette, and purples, blues, such like that, and then upwards and downwards. Ended up making the moon a little bit too blue, but with all the overlays on top afterwards, it doesn't really matter. Let me just stress how important it is to have reference photos. I mean, I'm basically making this up just because I understand the perspective that I was going for, the angle. But I am also using, you might see it for like a split second, I am using a reference photo on here. I used one for the moon, I used one for the style of building, for the most part, although I overly simplified it just because I didn't want it to be too complicated. It's in the background, after all. And I also used the original figure, which I mentioned earlier, as reference for the character. Yep, you saw it there for a split second. Go in and correct the angles. And all those wood joists. Definitely not the most annoying thing I've done, but... Western architecture doesn't generally have this style to it. But you gotta admit, it is beautiful. Even though basically what I'm doing is a caricature of their style. I remember I had this, I remember when I had I believe I actually had the original USAGI figure when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure that I had the sword for Space USAGI, but I don't know if I had Space USAGI. I can't recall. It was when I was much, much younger, but I do remember that I did retain the sword somehow. And I always thought it went to Space USAGI, but it actually wasn't Space USAGI's sword. It was the sword from Space Cadet Raph, which I thought was, and at least when I was younger, I thought it was a similar line, but I think they're separate lines, honestly. But they do couple well together. Ugh, all those stars. Alright, let's just take a little break here. I know it's a little bit of a longer video. most of the time I kind of can't get through these kind of things anyway, so figured I'd just throw something in here, kind of break it up a little bit, make it a little more interesting. So this is what I'm going to call my collectible corner, and it's basically just me showing you my reference here. So this is my main USAGI YOJIMBO figure, for those of you who follow, or well, technically for those of you who don't follow, because those of you who do would actually know what this is anyways. And then we're going to try and get this to focus, even though, there it goes. Alright, so there is the reference for this character. You'll see where I was trying to go with the color scheme, and those pants that I just did not agree with whatsoever. That is the original, from the original 90s series. Yeah, actually, I had to pull them out of my cabinets for them back there. And then I also picked up, I have the 2003 series as well in package. Don't think I have him loose. He's packed away, though. I'm not going to go rooting through all that. But I did pick up this one recently, which is actually the new Nickelodeon one from the new mini-series that they've done, the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That one's actually really cool. I like the style of it. I like that his costume is a little bit more authentic when it comes down to it. So that is a fun one as well. So I got that one there, which is pretty cool. And then just a fun nod, actually, is that from the same line, there's a character that's pretty relevant to this stream. This is PandaCon. And he's relevant because he is a panda, and that's actually one of my nicknames from a while back anyways. Not even a while back, but was going by Po originally for a little while, and that ended up rolling over into some of my friends calling me basically Panda in Spanish, and then just kind of boiled into Oso. So either one of those I'll go by, so feel free to call me that if you want to. But let me know if you guys have any of these in the comments down below, man. And if you're actually enjoying this, then throw up a like for me, and then subscribe, actually. And then we will continue, and then we're going to reveal it at the end. So let's keep it going. Imagine doing that in traditional. Just be sitting there tapping, tapping, and tapping, and tapping. I love digital for that reason. You can do little tricks like copy, move, duplicate, make certain things much, much, much faster. Also, you can erase easier as well, so for an artist that needs multiple tries to get something right, like me, it is the preferred media. Also, I added all these little movie quotes, because this is generally how my brain works anyways, in here just to kind of make it a little bit more fun. So if you guys comment on the all the movie quotes on there, maybe you guys will hopefully catch them all. Actually, there's one that's not a movie quote. One's a dual quote later on. It's coming up soon. That would actually be the one that would be most impressive if you actually got both parts of the quote. There's two different. There's one for the photo, which is making fun of it, and then one for the actual text. It does lag a little bit here for a split second. I did not catch this when I was editing it, but I did take out certain things, like some textures that I added that you can't really see in the end product anyway, so there was not really any reason to keep it in there. Now I'm just adding some simple bounce lights. One is the white that's popping up, that's reflecting from the ocean, from the water underneath him, and one is caused from the moon, which in the more spread, it's got the blue to it because it's bouncing off the white for the most part, so it does have that. And then the harsher areas, I added white just to add depth, but it gives them a nice little extraness to it. But generally, when you're working with one side or a 3-light setup, which is usually the standard setup, you want to have one warm light generally on one side and one cold light on the other. It usually just makes it pop better. Just a little blurring there to add a nicer depth of field. Like I said, if this is moving, this generally is just a time lapse of the entire process from start to finish, which I am fairly proud of because it's the first one that I actually had the sketch process as well. Most of the ones recently I've just been doing, and it's actually been a while since I posted anything, so I did want to apologize for that. I was trying to keep up with the workflow when I was finishing pieces, and it just kind of snowballed on me. I got a new job, been working full-time even though I'm part-time. So, but with the Twitch streaming, like I said, the link is down in the description. You guys can follow me on there. Also, I upload all my videos afterwards anyway, so you don't have to hang with me live. You can always check it out afterwards. Fast forward through it, you know, muted if I'm annoying, because that's perfectly fine with me. Different strokes and all. But it'd been a while, and I wasn't keeping up with my workflow. I was a little bit too close to it. I'd like it finish something, and then I'd go and do a YouTube video, and it just really wasn't very productive. So what I'm doing now is I've waited long enough to where I've gotten a decent, you know, at least a handful of pieces ahead of where I want my videos. So that way I always have something I can work on every week and then just keep ahead of it with the Twitch stream. So that is my plan. I am planning on continuing, or at least starting up again, to upload a new time-lapse or general video every week. I do like this style. I need to do another one that's like this. It seems like it's fairly time consuming. I did crunch it down to less than 20 minutes, less than 18 minutes for the full time lapse. The full time for the entire process was not 100% sure. I think the Twitch videos, which takes place after the basic depth and coloring of the character onward through the background, I believe was something like 14-15 hours. So it'd probably be safe to say this is probably a 20-hour piece. So crunch down to under 20 minutes is not too bad. Plus I don't want to waste you guys' whole day. And like I said, I do actually have more videos on my channel, so if you wanted to link that, I'll throw a link at the end of this video. You can pop over, check out some of the other ones. The Catwoman is definitely one of my favorites on there. Spent way more time on her cleavage than I probably should have, but what are you going to do? It's got to look good, right? This is me wrestling with the liquefy tool in this section. Oh, and I actually think it froze on me when I was doing it, so I had to restart. By the way, save your life, guys. Save your time. Increment and save. Always. You spend an hour on something, save it. You spend 3 hours on something, you've gotten to a new point of progress, save another iteration. You know, just go just do a save as, same folder, tack a number on top of it, and then just keep that going. Because when you're done afterwards and you didn't actually lose any of the content, you can just delete all the previous versions anyways and just leave whatever the final number was. That way you still have the file and you're not really wasting that much disk space. Excuse me. I don't think I've done any other character that's this white. It's fairly interesting, especially for coloring. Most of these things I'm just overlaying color on a layer above it anyways. But the white really picks it up and makes it look nice. Everything else, I believe, it maybe seems a little bit forced. Although you wouldn't really know to look at it. I'm probably just being too critical. That's me. Now, here's the dual reference. Comment down below if you get both. I would be very, very impressed. You know, it's not smoke, it's mist, you know, cloud, or humidity. A little nod to the awesome brothers. Although now that you know that it's there, you'll be able to see it. But if you didn't know it was there previously, it is tough. All right, guys. If you've actually stuck around through this whole thing, then thumbs up to you guys. Thank you very much for that. I would like to know you guys' opinions, actually, of the kind of the new layout, the kind of intro, middle, or intermission, and then ending sequence. I'm trying a new style with this thing, trying to keep it a little bit more entertaining and have a nicer flow. If you guys have any questions or comments, of course, down below, or you can drop me a line at any of my social networking sites. I do have that down there. I'll answer any questions I can. Any interest in future suggestions for videos, tutorials, things you guys are having trouble with, just drop me a line, man. You can call me Jared, you can call me Po, Oso. It really doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. I will help you as best as I can. I know I have a lot of experience with the digital realm, at least for the last 7 years or so. So I can try to help you as best as I can, and then we'll, you know, come to a good point. Maybe in the future I'll do a video for certain things if you guys are actually, you know, asking. So I also noticed that I have a bunch of new subscribers on here, and I really just wanted to welcome all of you individually. I believe that you're all followers of a gentleman named Spartan that I worked with recently. Very, very awesome guy, honestly. I'm a fan of his now. He's really, really cool. I did do his logo and his banner for his YouTube. Maybe we'll work together in the future. I hope so. He's actually a really awesome guy. So I just wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with me and subscribing. I really appreciate that. One of the reasons why I was working so hard to try to get this video out as soon as I can. And I'm going to try to keep it up. So throw me a like, subscribe, and then I'm going to be coming out with videos once a week here. I do have a backlog going, so it's going to be easier. And then other than that, man, here is the final piece. Now that I'm done talking, I'm sorry, my bad. Here's the final piece, USAGI YOJIMBO, my fan art. Here we go. Enjoy, guys. You guys have a great day. And always ask yourself, have you done anything creative today?